Hello, all you beautiful people out there, and welcome to another video on my channel. Today, we are going to be talking about another video in the Connecticut sequence. It is called Trouble in Colonial Connecticut. This is part of my Witchcraft series. Not much else I need to say. Let's get on with the video. Saltonstall wrote to Governor Winthrop, complaining that he had been injured by Ludlow and other Dorchester migrants, who would not allow Stiles's men to settle the land he had purchased. It ended with the Stiles party settling in the north end of the meadow. However, this was not the only storm brewing. Not only did Saltonstall and Dorchester groups resent each other, trouble was coming to a head between the original settlers from Plymouth and those from Dorchester. The tensions continued into the 1640s, as evidenced by Windsor not being an integrated town. Families who had come from the western counties in England lived next to each other and intermarried. The gentry occupied the southern part of the town. Those from Dorchester settled the Sandy Bank, and the Stiles party settled in the northern part of the town. The West Country people dominated not only the political offices, but also church offices, although in 1638 Reverend Ephraim Hewitt replaced John Maverick, and the church then welcomed some Midlanders. Nevertheless, the settlers from Dorset and Somerset continued to be the primary members in church and politics. This led to the psychological dominance of the original Dorchester congregation from England, who had endured so many hardships together. These shared experiences were bolstered by their shared faith. Even after they settled Windsor, their faith continued to be tested, prompting them to look within for the source of their misfortune. As a result, one townsman would be executed for witchcraft and 3 other women would be suspected. In this way, Windsor started the witch panic in the Connecticut River Valley. 4 women were suspected of witchcraft, with 3 being eventually executed. Women who were in some way linked to the suspects also came under scrutiny. The land distribution was complete by the end of 1641, with grants handed to the heads of 94 families and a few individuals, with 63 of the families coming from Dorchester in 1635 and 1636. 5 other families came from Massachusetts, and the rest came from England. John White initially chose 2 ministers to lead the people he recruited, John Maverick and John Warham. Maverick had established a church in Dorchester and had opposed leaving before he died in 1635. On the other hand, Warham and many of his church members wanted to move to the less restrictive religious environment that Connecticut offered. His chance to move the members came after Maverick's death. After moving, he became the spiritual leader of his congregation in 1635 and remained so until his death in 1670. He received his bachelor's from Oxford in 1614, and most likely it was here that he was exposed to experiences and literature of the occult. At Oxford, Warham studied the works of William Perkins, a prominent theologian of the time. Perkins, like most people of that time, believed in witches. However, unlike common people who thought white witches or wise women or men were helpful, he despised them. Ephraim Hewitt moved his church to become a teacher under Warham, although he himself was a minister who also graduated from Cambridge University. In 1640, Warham and Hewitt began giving sermons that suggested that Satan was in Windsor. They helped to create fear in the community. By raising the subject of Satan and demons, these preachers resurrected memories from England about the reality of witchcraft. To understand this, we must first have some background information. In 1626, Somerset, England hosted the most famous witch trial in the country before the Civil War. Under Laud, the government actively discouraged witch trials, but the one in Somerset would have been in recent memory of the Windsor colonists. So I'm not going to go much into the trial because basically these trials were all the same. Some guy was accused of bewitching another guy. Because most of the 1630 settlers came from Somerset, they would have either attended the trial or heard the gossip about the events spoken about at trial. These supernatural happenings would have been considered quote-unquote evidence, which of course now they are not. However, this quote-unquote evidence aroused so much concern that it seemed to confirm the presence of the devil. This trial gave Reverend Richard Bernard a chance to publish his book, Guide to the Grand Juryman, in 1627. This book on witchcraft influenced many individuals, including Roger Ludlow, who was one of Windsor's original settlers and trained as a lawyer in England. The West Country counties in England were steeped in the belief in witchcraft and demons, as can be seen in the amazing number of witchcraft trials that occurred there. Richard Bernard had been a famous demonologist in England, and he would have been known by the more well-educated colonists. He had probably preached to them before, cementing in their minds the reality of witches and demons. John Warham and Ephraim Hewitt merely tapped into these already entrenched beliefs, bringing fear into the small town. I should say these people weren't stupid for believing in witchcraft. They just didn't have the science to explain what was happening. So I can understand you judging them and judging them harshly because what happened was really horrible. But please keep that in mind while you are judging them. Well, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. All social media links, including my Teespring store and Patreon, are in the description. Please consider supporting me on Patreon or getting something over at Teespring. I also offer channel memberships. The join button is right under the video, so if you would like to support me that way, you may also do it that way. Members do get some perks. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, stay safe and goodbye.